Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm sorry to speak for the thousandth times about an issue that is very important to me but sounds a little revolutionary and maybe, too fanatic, that young children education should not include the details of the professions they're about to learn when they grow up. Uh, One instance of these details that I want to share is pi. I want to say that I believe that in young ages it's alright to teach uh, pi as 3, to say that the number of pi is 3. Now, for that matter, I want to bring two holy quotes. One of them is Monty Python in the famous sketch they did about the Holy Grenade, that the number shall be 3. There is a scripture. They pull out the scriptures and say, how should we count to throw the Holy Grenade? And the number shall be 3. 3 shall be the number shall be 3. 4 is too much, 2 is too little, 5 is way too much, etc. And they elaborate about the number 3 in such a funny way, peculiar way. And you ask yourself, when you analyze the joke, which no one should ever do, but I do it right now. And when you analyze the joke, you ask yourself, what's so funny about the number should be 3? Why is it so laughable to elaborate so much in the scriptures about a number, like a simple number? And the answer is the simplicity. I mean, the scriptures always sound very simplified when they address numbers, because they don't have decimal points and they don't have all the advanced mathematics that we know. And that's why there is something inherently funny in combining mathematics and scriptures. So that's one quote I want to bring, and the other is to actually show the number 3 appears in the scriptures, certainly in Jewish scriptures. So I'm kind of risking the Jewish scriptures here, but I hope the respect will remain to the Jewish Talmud when I say that the Jewish Talmud says that the ratio between the circumference of a circle, I'm sorry, the circumference of a circle and the diameter is the number 3. Now, they don't even say 22 divided by 7, which is 3 and a seventh, which is the more accurate way to be inaccurate about the ratio of a circumference of a circle and a diameter. They say 3. It's almost insulting to the intelligence to think that 2,000 years ago they really thought. I mean, I don't think they thought this way. I don't think they thought it exactly 3. I mean, I think that any simple experiment, and they did know what an experiment is. I mean, with circles in the sand and lines in the sand, any simple experiment would have shown that it's 3 and 7 at least. But they didn't care. They didn't care it's not exactly 3. They could have known that it's not exactly 3, and they didn't care about it, because in such young age, when civilization was in such young age, it wasn't as important to know the details of the ratio between the circumference of a circle and a diameter, because they didn't have spaceships to fly to the moon, and they didn't have water canals that are in length that take a whole country, and they didn't have many of the things that we have today that need this precision. Now, young children also don't need to fly rocket ships to the moon, and they don't even. I mean, God bless the NASA people. God bless the people who fly rocket ships to the moon, but it's not what young children need to know. They don't need to know the precision of this procedure. They need to have the curiosity. They need to know that it's possible, and that they might grow up and do that. They might themselves grow up and and be these astronauts and do these things themselves. And it's important. I am 40 years old. I need to know what pi is. But I don't think that children need to know what pi is. Children just need to know, 2 plus 2 equals 4 is important for a child, but the decimal point is not important. The decimal point is simply not important. It's 3. The circumference of a circle is 3 times as its diameter. That's almost accurate for children. And there has to be room for curiosity. There has to be it has to be taught that later in life you will learn about the decimal point, and you will learn that there is numbers after 3. That 3 is inaccurate. It's just for you as a child, but it doesn't have to be more than this. I mean, we don't want. Again, I'm reluctant to share it, but I share it to say that children don't need to grow ignorant, and we don't want children to be ignorant. But if there is anything that is certain in today's childhood, is that they will be slaves to the same school system many years later. So as long as it's this way, and I'm not against the school system in general, I'm not, but why not make it interesting in young age? You can draw a circle in the sand and a line in the sand and show them that it's three times bigger with a string. So that's good enough for children, and you know that they will be in school a few years later to answer the exam about what is pi. And they say, oh, pi 3.14. And and even make a contest about, do you know that it's 3.14, 15, 9? And say yes. And do you know more than this? I don't. I just checked it myself because I didn't even remember the 15. I thought it's like 28 because I remembered 22 divided by 7. So I'm wrong in this. I was wrong in this aspect. I learned it before the English video. So in the Hebrew video, you can hear me say it's 3.1428. It's not. It's 3.1415. So that's 9. So it's important to be accurate about it for adults, for grown-ups. For grown-ups in real age 40, it's terrible not to know the numbers of pi, at least the basic, same as it's important to know what happened in 1756, the beginning of the 7 Years' War between Britain and France. It is important, but why should a young child know what happened in 1756? He should know the year it happened. He should know what Britain is and what France is. That there were kings and queens and there were feudal wars, but he shouldn't know the number, the 1756. It's not important for a young child. Now, of course, he should know numbers, like 2 plus 2 equals 4. Numbers, the basic numbers are important, but I'm not even sure that he should learn the numbers we use, the Indo-Arabic digits. I mean, maybe learn it in a class by itself, but you could write the numbers like words. I mean, details are not important in this kind of age. It's a very revolutionary idea, so I share it reluctantly, but I share it because I believe we are doing something very inherently wrong with the education of children in today's West, in today's developed world, not just the West, developed world. And the exemption might, we rush them into details. We rush the children into details to learn the details. And details, it's very anal. It's very anal. So maybe it's good for some parts of the world, but most of the world shouldn't be so anal. It should be normal. It should, and normal is not be so detail oriented. I'm sorry if it's a little offensive to say anal so many times. I don't plan every part of this video obsessively. Maybe I should because I am a grown-up. Okay, I remind myself again that I'm not a young child. But I think I don't know. I mean, this is there's always the what would have happened if I was taught in young age the number 3 as pi and not 3.1459. I don't know. I mean, I ask myself, would I really be dumb in this age because I wouldn't have known? Or maybe, you can learn it later in life. You can learn it in age 15, not in age 5. In age 15, you can learn that pi is 3.414159. And things like these details, that 1756 was the beginning of the Seven Years' War between Britain and France. Why know it in young age? In age 40, it's important, and I regret not learning enough history of Europe, but not in young age. I don't know. That's what I think, and I share it happily with anyone who cares to listen. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.